perfectly unequal, which means it's terrible. If it is zero, it means that the incomes are perfectly equal, which means the society is perfect. And here you will see that from 1990 to 2023, the inequality in US has been consistently increasing. And look at this graph. Over time, the government spending has been going up so fast that its tax revenue is failing to catch up. This means the government is spending more than it earns. And the scary fact is that this gap is getting bigger and bigger. And to cover up this gap, what does the government do? The government has to borrow more and more money. This is the second problem with America, which is tax cuts not leading to the empowerment of poor people. And because of these two problems, America gets a third problem as a bonus, which is the interest problem. You will be shocked to know that America nearly spends $1 trillion a year just on interest payments. So America pays more in interest than the GDP of 174 countries. And this is where the debt bomb gets bigger and bigger as the government runs on deficit. If you think about it, as the government runs on deficit, what happens? It issues bonds. And when they issue bonds, the government will have to pay more interest. This interest payment plus more spending leads to more deficit. So what does the government do? They borrow again. And eventually, the deficit widens. This has been repeating for the past 20 years to turn America into a ticking debt bomb. And now, the US national debt has crossed $36 trillion. And like I said, that's more than the GDP of China, Germany, UK, Japan and India combined. In fact, the funny thing is that Congress actually set something called a debt ceiling, where the government decides that legally they cannot create more debt after this limit is set. But funnily or stupidly or dangerously, whatever this thing is, the US government has crossed and extended its debt ceiling more than 70 times since 1960. Yes, 70 times. So the debt ceiling is practically a joke. And now the debt of US stands at 122.5% of its GDP, with projections indicating that it could exceed 140% by 2032 if current policies persist.